Okay, let's talk about something you probably don't think about every day, but is absolutely critical. The invisible systems that protect your most personal information. And I'm not talking about your social media profiles. I'm talking about the data held by your local council, the stuff that really shapes your daily life. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the frameworks designed to keep all of that data safe, especially now in the age of AI.
So let's just start right there with a really direct question. Who actually holds the data about your council tax, your kids' school records, or even really sensitive social care information? Well, the answer is your local authority. And believe me, they hold a lot more than you probably think.
Get this, local authorities in the UK provide over 800 different services. Yeah, 800. Every single one of those, from emptying your bins to processing housing benefits, generates and relies on your personal data. That is just a staggering amount of information that has to be protected.
And, protecting it is getting way more complicated. Our local data infrastructure is basically facing this triple threat. You've got this explosion of data, a government landscape that's constantly shifting, and of course, the ever-present threat of digital risk.
And this isn't some theoretical what-if scenario. This is real. When a UK council got hit by a ransomware attack, the financial damage from the downtime alone was estimated at £1 million. That's a pretty stark reminder of just how high the stakes are when these essential systems go down.
And throwing another wrench into the works is the rise of AI. Now, on one hand, artificial intelligence has this incredible potential to make public services way better, more efficient. But it's not some simple magic wand. Its complexity brings a whole new layer of risk. We're talking privacy, security. It's a huge concern for 86% of organizations out there? On top of all that, you have the UK's devolution agenda, which is totally reshaping local government. Now, giving power back to the regions is great, but what it creates is this really complex patchwork of different authorities, all with slightly different powers and responsibilities. And that makes creating a single, one-size-fits-all approach to cybersecurity, well, it's pretty much impossible.
So, when you look at this new world with its complex threats and shifting structures, it becomes crystal clear that the old ways of thinking about security just aren't going to cut it anymore. We need a fundamental shift in how we approach this problem, and that shift is moving towards something called a principles-led approach. What does that mean? Well, instead of just ticking boxes on a long, rigid checklist, this is all about focusing on the outcomes. It's about building a strategy that's flexible and smart enough to adapt to threats as they change, because they always do.
And when you put the two models side by side, the difference is night and day. The old, rules-based approach, it was rigid. It assumed threats never changed. It was all about compliance on paper. The new, principles-led model is built for the world we actually live in. It's flexible, it's adaptive, and it focuses on genuine resilience, not just checking a box.
Now, this new way of thinking isn't just an abstract idea. It's been captured in a really powerful model designed specifically for local government. It's called the LACES framework. LACES. It stands for the Local Authority Cyber Ecosystem. And look, this is not just another boring set of rules. You should think of it more like a new operating system for how we approach cyber resilience in our communities. It's a way to connect all the different pieces of this giant security puzzle. The whole framework is built on 6 interconnected pillars. They all have to work together to create a truly strong security posture. So let's walk through each one and see how this thing actually works in the real world. All right, here they are, the 6 pillars. You've got governance, assurance, processes, data, resilience, and finally, knowledge sharing. Let's break them down. First up, governance. This is all about leadership. Simple as that. It's about setting the big picture strategy and making sure somebody is clearly in charge and accountable for information risk. That's a role often called the Senior Information Risk Owner, or SIRO. Basically, it's about setting the rules of the game. Next, we have assurance. I mean, you can have the most beautiful policies in the world, but how do you actually know if they're working? That's what assurance is for. It's the trust but verify pillar. You use things like security audits, and yes, even hiring ethical hackers to do penetration tests to kick the tires and make sure your defenses are solid.
Pillar 3 is all about processes. This is where you make sure that security isn't some afterthought you just bolt on at the end. No way. It's about embedding a secure by design mindset into every single system right from the very beginning, and carefully tracking how information is handled from the moment it's created to the moment it's destroyed. Now we get to the heart of it all, the data pillar. This is about protecting the crown jewels, the information itself. It's focused on what we call the CIA triad. That's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And using smart tools like data protection impact assessments to really understand and manage the risks to your data. Pillar 5 is resilience. To put it simply, this is the ability to take a punch and keep right on going. It's about having rock-solid plans for business continuity and incident response so that when, not if, an attack happens, those vital public services can keep running. And finally, the 6th pillar, knowledge sharing. Because no council is an island in this fight. This pillar is all about collaboration, using platforms often called warps for warning, advice, and reporting points to share intelligence about new threats and share what's working, which makes everyone collectively so much stronger. So after all that, all these pillars and frameworks, why does it really matter? Well, because ultimately, every single piece of this puzzle comes back to one thing: building and, just as importantly, maintaining the public's trust. See, frameworks like LACES are what help local authorities prove they're following the law, like the Data Protection Act, in meeting their legal duties. And that is the absolute foundation of public trust. When we, as citizens, feel confident that our data is being handled professionally and securely, it builds our faith in the services we all depend on. And the need for this stuff is only getting more urgent. As one venture capital investor put it, the threats are just becoming more and more advanced. And because of that, awareness is going to increase, and the money being invested to fight this fight, well, that's expected to go up significantly too. So a framework like LACES gives us a vital, principles-led playbook for the challenges we face right now. But it also leaves us with this huge, lingering question for tomorrow. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve at a truly exponential pace, can our human-designed frameworks for trust and safety ever really keep up?